Hey, my friend, we're going to follow on from hashtag 194, the longer episode. And it's all about how do you find this bloody song of yours, your voice, because of a number of things. And I want you to be so curious about how you can use what I'm going to share with you, because it will make a difference. And it doesn't matter how big a difference or a smaller difference, it's going to make a difference, period, to your life in a positive way. And if you want to make a difference to your life, other people's lives in a positive way, period, that's interesting and important to you, come on, be curious and have a listen after this. Hey, welcome to the Personal Development Unplugged podcast. So pleased you're here. Your time is valuable and precious. So what I would like to do is fill that time that you share with me with the most shiny golden nuggets to help improve your life, to get your goals, your wishes, your dreams to come to fruition quicker, bigger, better than you could ever imagine, using your imagination, using hypnosis, using NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, all of that, using all things of the mind. No brain hacks, but real solid processes to deconstruct what people do to become great. And then find the processes that we can install that in ourselves to support you in your dreams and get what you really want in life. Anyway, who am I? I'm Paul Clough, and just going to have conversations with you in this podcast and get you thinking, but also share those processes, because we're going to have so much fun. That's it. We're going to have fun for a change, because we can sit down for a spell and have more fun than we can stand, creating the world we want to live in and be the person we want to be in that world. The only limitation is your imagination. And you got bucket loads, by the way, bucket loads. Have a listen. You really must.
This is Personal Development Unplugged with Paul Clough.
In simplicity, there is genius.
In simplicity, there is genius.
Hey friend, how you doing? I'm doing good. I think I'm doing good. Think I am. Got a little trouble with my ear, which I can't hear too well sometimes, but I hope that doesn't make a difference to the way you're hearing me. And I'm going to ask you a very, 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 very important question. Not yet though, soon. So I want you to bear with me, because it's time for a singing lesson. Ta-da! And I don't know if you know, just before we get into it, just suddenly hit in my mind, there was a lovely story on the internet, or I've heard it from other people, about this village. I think it's a village in Africa or something like that, a bit vague, where a pregnant lady would go off into the forest to have a baby. And all the women from the village would create a song especially for that child. And they would sing it to her. And they'd sing it to that child. And whenever that child needed a bit of help, they'd sing that song. They'd bring that child back, form a circle and sing it to that child so it knows its own true song, unique song. And if that child, as it grows to be a teenager, and, you know, they go off the rails occasionally and sometimes they need help. Well, they all need help. We all needed help. We need help now, don't we? They'd bring that teenager back to the centre and they'd sing their song. And I thought that is such a lovely thing to do. Until I found out it was a fairy tale or it was made up. And that blew that out of the water. And I still think it's a great thing to do as a metaphor. And this is where we're going, because I want the singing lesson a bit like, well, it's a bit carrying on from hashtag 194, singing your song. But the thing is, what the bloody hell is my song? You could ask. I ask that loads of bloody times to myself. What is my song? And in this metaphor, this song is me, isn't it? It's my life, the things I do. And sometimes I think we're lost without knowing that we're lost, if that makes sense. It's only when we look back and realise we were bloody lost. We thought we knew where we were, but We were lost. It's that thing we've talked about, I think, in the last episode, or going with the flow. Just, in some ways, following or creating a life with other people's expectations or other people's beliefs and values. And sometimes those values can be awesome, but they've got to be yours. But the beliefs are not yours. Expectations are not yours. You see, I didn't know mine. What I'm doing now, I didn't know. It was totally out of sight. See, in the early days in my other life, I call it my other life. In fact, I've had a couple of other lives in business. I was striving for things. Yeah, I had my goals, my dreams, and I had my steps and all that stuff. When I look back, I was pretty well organized in that way. But it wasn't the most honest way. It was all about business and just looking to make a profit for the company I was with, or for me, or whatever. And it wasn't the win-win. No, it was, I win, you lose. And in fact, people did not, I wasn't connected to people. I was sometimes proud of not being a people person because I was focused on making a success. Now, I know there's intention there, but to be honest, it was absolutely bonky. Absolutely bonky. And I haven't written my notes here. As I think back now, I think of myself and say, what a dick. What a dick I was. But at least in some ways, it taught me a lot of skills, but also a lot of skills of what not to do. Because again, I work with people all the time now. I love seeing their successes. I love making a difference. And I want to help you make a difference to your life, however small. You see, it doesn't matter how small the difference is. It's a difference, period. It makes a difference. And if you can come with me and just think of a great state would be just to become curious for the moment. Just become curious. What can I learn from this? What can I learn from this? That's right, little gap there. You see, slowly but surely, I've found my song. It's not complete yet. I haven't got all the verses. I haven't got, that metaphor goes on forever. I think I found my passion. In fact, I think I've recognized my passion. My passion was always there. But I'm still learning and still doing stuff. And I'm still doing stuff bloody wrong. And occasionally, but more often than not, I'm knocking it out the park. I'm having great successes with clients and the things I do. And also in my side bits where I just do things for me, my sketching, my drawing, that type of thing. Just having a good time. It's all connected to that passion. And I found it over a period of time. So from being a dick to suddenly getting aha moments, because that's what happens. We get that learning, we get that clarity. We use the skills from those times, but we refine them. We use them in a better way. Now then, would that be important to you to have that passion? Occasionally, and more often, knocking it out of the park. What about that imposter syndrome? Those negative beliefs of things like, I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, oh, I'm stupid, they'll find me out. I don't belong here. Because I know they're real, but they're also BS, bullshit, aren't they? I know they have a positive intention to protect you, to make you prepare for what is coming. But the thing is, that's bullshit too. Not the positive intention, but using those imposter syndrome, negative beliefs, I'm not good enough, I'm not stupid, I get found out, I don't belong here, and all that stuff. Because it doesn't work, because it doesn't feel safe, it doesn't feel good. And the thing is, guess what? Join the world, join the club, because everyone feels the bloody same in some form, shape or other. So we're all doing it in a weird way. And it's best of intentions. I know we'll get there. And this is where I'm trying to speed up that, if I can. Help you just start to accelerate your learnings. Accelerate by creating and learning this song, the song that is you. You see, the other thing, we always compare ourselves, don't we? Compare ourselves with other people. I know I do. I did. I still do, I know. gets me sometimes. And I know that I'm only looking at their show reels, the highlights. And again, that's bullshit too, isn't it? I even wrote a note after this because I was getting excited. I said, steady, Cluffy. You know, all this stuff is going on. But the thing is, I think it's important to know that when we find our passion or our passion finds us, when we find our song and we find our real voice to sing from our real voice, from that place inside that resonates really deeply with us and then with everyone else, your unconscious mind doesn't need to use such things as imposter syndrome, negative beliefs, I'm not good enough, I'm stupid, to find me out. I don't belong here. You won't notice other people's show reels because you'll be concentrating on yourself. Because the thing is, and I know this is a bit, I don't know, I even hesitated writing it down because it's a bit woo-woo la-la, but it's true. You are unique. Yes, I know it's an old saying, but you are unique. And it's not just me saying it. You see, it's true. Have a think. Has there ever been someone just like you? No. Will there ever be anyone in the future just like you? No. Has anyone had exactly the same experiences as you? No. Has anybody had those aha moments just like you, those learnings just like you, has dreams just like you? Because I know the answer is no. You know the answer is no, is no. So you must be unique. You are one of a kind. You are unlike anybody or anything else. And so am I. And so is everyone else. And because of that, this is what I believe, you have a unique reason for being here, for being on this little old planet Earth in this little old lifetime of ours, because it's a speck in the trillions and billions of years that we've been around and will be around for the future. We're a speck, but we have a reason for being here. And that's, some people might call it an ultimate vision. Some people call it a mission. But I think the missions work because missions can be plural to get to that ultimate vision, to do that thing, which is your passion. And your passion finds you in different ways, in different times, to do different things. So, you know, as you find that unique song of yours and you start to sing it, maybe hum it to start off with, but you sing it in your unique voice because no one's got a voice just like you. See, this metaphor carries on, but it's true, isn't it? Isn't it true? Bloody right, it's true. And I know you're saying this now because I've repeated enough. You're saying, okay, Cluffy, I get it. But how do I find my song? Okay. Well, I think sometimes we have to find our voice a little bit. Just find our own personal voice. And we've talked about passions before. I know we have. And how I found mine by accident. And even though I find it by accident, sometimes I didn't recognize I've got it. And sometimes I kept looking. And I still look, by the way. Because I always think there's a little bit more, or maybe I didn't get it right. And I know it's hiding in bloody plain sight. It's out there and in here. And so is yours. So how do you find it? How do you find your voice? Well, I think you just look into what you're enjoying doing. What do you care about? What's the stuff that you do well? You do, it just seems to be, it comes more natural. Yes, you have to work at it, but you seem to work at it more naturally. You have this ability and things get attracted to you. What is that in your life? Because it doesn't have to be your career, but it can be. It doesn't have to be your entrepreneurship thing, but it can be. But it could be the things you do outside your career, the things you do with your family. What do you do that just seems to come naturally? Things that give you a passion. When you look back, you think, yeah, I love doing that. I mean, if you look back at the podcast, hashtag 307, it's only just a little while ago. It's all about looking back and noticing the things that you used to love doing. And the essence of that can be rekindled, can be fanned. The flame can get stronger and brighter and warmer. The motivation comes back. So you could say, okay, I get all that again, Cluffy. I can go and find it. I can look back. I'll even listen to the podcast again. Maybe I missed it. 307, did you say? Well remembered. But how do I start? Because I'm embarrassed to sing in front of people. And so bloody would I. I don't want to get up. I mean, it's taken me years to get into this place where I can talk to you or I can talk to more people than the one-to-one, because little old introvert Cluffy doesn't really like speaking to a lot of people. Unless then I found this passion inside me that I want to share. The things I know, the things I learn. I love the learning part of NLP, hypnosis, working with clients, and with all that stuff, I love to share it with you too. And then my own issues, how I get over them, I love sharing with you. But we start quietly. Keeping in that metaphor, let's just hum a little bit. But let's just do a little practice hum in that singing. Doing what you love doing, just a little bit more. And finding how you can use it, and this is the key, I think, finding how you can use that to help other people, to give pleasure, to be kind. How do you do that? Well, that's one step already. Find the things that give you pleasure, that gives you excitement, motivation, the things you do, and somehow share it with people. Because even if you just share what you've learned, you're learning it deeper and you're sharing information with them that they can take and do the same. You can share it by example. Now, how do you do by example? You can just be doing that stuff. You're helping people with, the act of selfless service means you do it with no sense or want of return. So you don't have to tell anybody about it. That's how quiet it can be. You don't have to go and say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. No, you just do it. But also, I've noticed on my son's Joseph Clough's Mind Mastery, if you go to josephclough.com, and I think if you look at Mind Mastery, it's a lovely group of people who are going through this process of letting go of core issues and creating a wonderful life for themselves. And they've got this private Facebook page. And they share their aha moments, the moments when they just notice they've changed or learned something, or something they're celebrating. We ask for celebrations there. What has happened in your life that suddenly you want to celebrate? And it's not bigging yourself up. It's, but you're just sharing something that happened and you just love it. And that group is so supportive. They just want to hear it. And the thing is, that gives that person who posted their aha moment, their celebration, makes them feel so good to do more. But it also encourages the other people. If you can do that, as I said, I can do it. You see, you don't have to sing, and this is my final line on this, you don't have to sing loudly to be heard in this world, because it's the essence of your song, the real essence of your true voice, your actions, the things that you do, making a difference. And that making a difference, when you make a difference to other people, you make a difference to yourself. It's that bloody law of reciprocation. I can never say the law of reciprocity. I can never say it, but it's reciprocation. You do this selfless service. You hum your little song. You give and you share that pleasure. You share the things that you're doing. You help people for no want of return. Selfless service. And reciprocation says, here, have a dollop of goodness. Just for doing what you did. You say, well, no, I didn't want that. No, have another dollop of goodness then. Have another dollop. And things happen. This is where synchronicity happens. And you say, well, I didn't ask for this, but I'm now being attracted to other people who give me pleasure, or things, or experiences. And synchronicity, coincidence. Things do not happen by coincidence. You attract them. Serendipity, you cause that to happen by your actions. And when you're doing this thing, singing from your song, you're doing that one thing. What you're thinking about most of the time is what you're going to get, and you're just giving out kindness. Because that is, I think, the effect of doing the things that you do well and you're passionate about, and passion finds you. I don't know if any of that made sense, I really don't. But I think it did to me inside when I made my notes, and it did to me inside when I I've just recalled them, you see. And it is this thing about however small that difference you make, it makes a difference, period. So hopefully that sense of curiosity that I asked you to get into is now getting stronger, and you're more motivated now to find the things you enjoy and how you can use them, how it can become, in the metaphor, your song, your voice. Because you are, I made a note, why is it important? And it's the reason important to you is because you're the only you. And I'm the only me. And we can only do what we do. And if we do it with a wonderful intention to do this stuff, we are going to have a good time. And also the world and people around us are going to have a better place to live in. And God knows we all need that, don't we? Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. Please share it with everyone. I always tell you to always ask anyway, if you could, just share it with 1, 2 or everybody. Tell them about this crazy guy Cluffy, Paul, he sometimes calls himself, on the Personal Development Unplugged podcast. And there's hundreds of episodes now we can really go into stuff. Loads of free hypnosis. But if you would share and have a look at paulcloughonline.com, so you can get those free through 55, I think there's free hypnosis tracks, all for you. paulcloughonline.com/podcast. I'm sure you're already there. But if you're not, go there, have access to them, download them, and have more fun. Just remember, I'm a therapist, but not your therapist. But they're all processes that work so wonderfully well. And so have a look at my paid, the premium stuff on Paul Clough Online, because they're good. And you get, when you sign up to that hypnosis tracks, which are all free, you get a massive, 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 massive discount. And it's also money back guarantee. So what have you got to lose? I'm doing my best to share everything I can with everyone I can, because I used to be a dick, and hopefully I'm a Paul. Okay? Until the next time, my friend, when we get together again to muse, to discuss, and just share our thoughts together, have more fun than you can stand, because it's time to fly.
Warning, you are now leaving the unplugged mind of Paul Clough. It's time to fly on your own. Be brave, my friend.
Personal Development Unplugged.